have a little bit of a different review yet again. I know I usually say that, but I think it starts to become my catchphrase. Today we're going to try to do something different. But anyway, when I started photography, I knew I wanted to really learn about how to do different styles of photos, but YouTube can only give you so much because, I wanted something that was a little bit more solid, something you could read. So I started to look around about, for some photo books, and started to look on Amazon.com, not eBay this time, Amazon.com. And anyway, I'd already found, Tony and Chelsea live on YouTube, and some other photographers like, Jared Poland and Matt Granger, which I started to follow, and I thought they were good. And did you review those guys from, I think it's Hong Kong or something. Anyway, they also make fairly decent videos. But anyway, I started to follow them, and I started to look at if any of them had some decent photography books that I might be interested in getting, to have some factual information about photography. And after shopping around, I managed to find a book used on Amazon. It wasn't that expensive, but I don't regret buying it for one bit because it contained a lot of good information about photography. And I would really recommend it to anybody who are interested in beginning with digital photography. And I don't think I have to say more than S.T.P. S.D.P. Or S.D.P. has become an acronym for Stunning Digital Photography. Yes, it's Tony Northrups' book, Stunning Digital Photography. As I've understood, this is the most current version of the book with 12 hours or over 12 hours of video footage that goes with it. And I would really recommend this book to anybody who is interested in, in a simple way, get out of automatic and into manual, or at least aperture or shutter priority. I mean, this book contains everything that you should probably want to know about getting really into digital photography. And it's everything from portraits to underwater photography to HDR, how to do different types of stills, how to do landscapes, quick tips. So chapter 1, really great chapter. And in every chapter you have these, I would call these barcodes, but I know there is a different name for them, but I can't really remember it right now at the top of my head. But anyway, this book is interactive, so if you have a phone with one of those readers, you use your smartphone's camera, you can scan these I'm going to say barcodes, some QR codes. Scan the QR code. Yeah, and it's everything, different types of city photography, and how to find good viewpoints, how to do, panoramas, and, how to do a balance and visual weight, how to make it so you take an interesting photo, how to control light. Let's see here. There's one chapter that I think should be the first that you read. It's actually chapter 1 and chapter 4. Those are if you get this book, chapter 1 and chapter 4 is the ones I would really say read those first, and then the chapter about controlling light. But then it's good because they explain focal distance in a very interesting way, and how an increased ISO can make your photos more grainy. So it's very interesting read. It talks about histograms and how things like light, the ambient light, the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO, how they all interact with your your photographic experience, and how your photo will be made. If you have if it's going to be dark, if it's going to be light, how you compensate for lack of ambient light, how aperture will change the focus depth, and things like Higher bit divide provides smoother gradients. Yeah, it's a lot, problem solving, chapter 5. So there's a lot of neat tips and tricks in this book. So I would really, how to make portraits in different situations, different types of, additional equipment that might be good for a photographer. How to make a bit more, artsy photography, weddings. Let's see, animal photography. They have some really good videos on YouTube about animal photography that I would really recommend any of the readers or viewers of this video go and watch Tony Northrups' channel. I mean, you don't have to agree with everybody, but as a certain other photographer on YouTube used to say, if you're gonna be friends with everybody, you're gonna be nothing to nobody. But I would say, give it a try. This is one saying that I've always lived by. You can't say no before you have tried. And afterwards, you can at least say you have tried. As another guy I used to follow puts it, either you think you know or you know. So anyway, would I recommend this book? Well, I've said it a lot of times already. Yes, I would really recommend this book. It's packed full of information. It's not that expensive. It is, always upgraded. So yeah, I would really recommend it. I know this chapter 11, HDR. I know that if you watch one of their newest videos, they talk about how HDR had been in a little bit of a fad, like those 1980s style portraits that were done in malls and so on. But what I would say is that I like HDR photography, as I think Chelsea, who's the woman on the cover, she puts it, she has a saying that you don't, good HDR is like good plastic surgery. You don't notice it if it's not done in a poor way. So I like HDR. I think it's a cool way of doing photography because of the high dynamic range, which it is an acronym for. But this book contains so much more. How many pages is it now? Well, it's about, what is it, about 235 pages? At least my 235 pages. So it's not a daunting read by any stretch of the imagination. It's quite an easy read and packed full of information, and I would really recommend this book to anybody who wants to get into digital photography but doesn't really know where to start. And I would say this book is a great start-off point. And I think this is something I will come back to time and time again when I have some things I need to look up when it comes to digital photography in the future. So yeah, stunning digital photography, S.D.P, whatever you want to call it. I would really recommend it, and I think it would make you very, very happy, and you would actually see an improvement in your photography. I would really recommend this to anybody who is interested out there. You don't have to spend thousands on a good literature about photography. This is adequate. This is really good. So that's all from me for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.